I used to think trust was like glass. You could fix it if it cracked, but it would never be the same. Now I know it's more like paper. Once crumpled, it never lies flat again. It started on a Thursday night. I was in the kitchen, scrolling through my emails when I noticed Sarah's phone buzzing on the counter. She was in the shower, singing faintly over the sound of running water. The name lighting up her screen wasn't one I recognized. Mark H. I didn't mean to look. At least, that's what I tell myself. But the preview on the screen was right there, in glowing betrayal. Last night was perfect. Thinking about you all day. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might pass out. My wife, the woman I'd been married to for 9 years, was texting another man about last night. And unless she had a secret nightlife as a chess player, I knew exactly what it meant. The shower kept running. My heart was pounding so loudly it felt like it might shatter the tile. I picked up the phone. No passcode. She'd always said, "I have nothing to hide." The conversation was long. Too long. Flirty messages. Inside jokes. Late-night photos that made my hands tremble. And one message from her, sent just that morning. "Can't wait until the next time we're alone." I felt the kind of cold that no blanket could fix. When she came out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, I was still standing there, holding her phone like it was a piece of evidence. Her eyes went wide. She didn't even try to fake confusion. "James, I can explain," she whispered. "Then start explaining," I said, my voice low but shaking. She claimed it was just texting, that she and Mark had never actually done anything physical. But then I scrolled to the part where he wrote, "I'm still sore from last night," and her face turned pale. She sat down hard on the edge of the bed, covering her mouth. That's when the anger hit me. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I just opened my laptop, pulled up our shared bank account, and transferred half of our savings into my personal account. Then I printed out copies of every incriminating text, stuffed them into an envelope, and walked out the door. I drove straight to her parents' house, handed her father the envelope without saying a word. The look on his face told me everything. He had no idea. That night, I checked into a hotel. The ending you won't believe? 2 weeks later, Mark reached out to me. He'd seen my posts online, pieced together who I was, and wanted to talk. Turns out, Sarah had told him I was her ex-husband. She'd been lying to him just as much as to me. He thought they were building a future together. We met for coffee. Two men who'd been played by the same woman. By the time we finished talking, we were both done with her, and oddly enough, we became friends. Sarah? She tried calling, texting, begging for another chance. I never answered, because sometimes the best revenge isn't screaming or plotting. It's walking away, knowing they lost you for good. Mark and I stayed in touch over the next few weeks. It wasn't about bonding over pain. It was about confirming the truth. We compared timelines, messages, and even photos. The overlap was almost laughable. While she was telling me she was working late, she was sending him pictures from the same hotel she once booked for our anniversary. It got worse. Mark discovered she wasn't just talking to us. There was a third man, someone from her gym, who, according to the texts, had amazing arms and knew how to make her forget everything. I used to think infidelity was about finding one person to replace you. Sarah? She treated it like a hobby. When I confronted her about the third guy, not in person, just through a short, blunt email, her reply came within minutes. "I need help. Please don't give up on me." Help? The woman didn't want help. She wanted a safety net. She wanted to keep her chaos intact while knowing I'd be there to catch her if she fell. No, not this time. I filed for divorce. Fast. My lawyer was ruthless. Photos, screenshots, timestamps. We left her no room to twist the story. She didn't contest a thing. She just sat there in the meeting, staring at the table, as if she'd finally realized the wreckage she'd caused. Mark showed up at the courthouse that day. Not for her, for me. We shook hands in the parking lot. Two strangers pulled into the same storm, now walking out of it. The real twist? A year later, I was sitting in a little Italian cafe when I saw her. Sarah. She looked older, like life had sanded her down. The man with her wasn't Mark or the gym guy, just someone new. She noticed me, of course she did, but I didn't stop, didn't wave. I walked right past her, my coffee warm in my hand, my chest light in a way it hadn't been in years. And that's when I realized the ending wasn't about catching her. The ending was about me finally letting go. I stepped out of that cafe and into the cool afternoon air, the city moving around me like nothing had happened. No bitterness, no lingering anger, just peace. Because the truth is, catching Sarah texting another man wasn't the real ending. It was the turning point. The real ending was me walking away from the wreckage she created and never looking back. And for the first time in years, I felt free. I stepped out of that cafe, the bell above the door chiming softly behind me. The city smelled faintly of rain, the streets humming with strangers rushing to places that had nothing to do with me. Halfway down the block, I heard someone call my name. I turned. Sarah was standing there alone, no man in sight, her eyes searching mine like she was looking for a lifeline. For a moment, I saw the woman I'd once loved, the one who used to fall asleep with her head on my chest, the one I thought I'd grow old with. "I'm sorry," she said, voice breaking. "I lost everything." I looked at her for a long second, and then I smiled, small, calm, final. "No," I said, "you threw it away." And just like that, I turned and walked into the crowd, her voice fading into the noise of the city. That was the last time I ever saw her. I turned and kept walking, my footsteps blending into the shuffle of the crowd. I didn't look back, not once. But as I reached the corner, I caught sight of a reflection in a shop window. Sarah, still standing there, frozen, watching me vanish into the city like a ghost from her past. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A new message from an unknown number. Guess who's been texting me now? Mark. I stared at the screen for a moment and then laughed. A low, quiet laugh that surprised even me. Because I finally understood, Sarah wasn't a chapter in my life. She was a cautionary tale, and I'd already closed the book. I slipped the phone back into my pocket, crossed the street, and didn't think about her again.